Hi students, welcome to Module 2. We're already 1 week into Module 2 and I wanted to send a little short video of what I am noticing on the submissions and discussion post. It is very important that each one of you partake in the discussion post. It's about 23% of your grade. It's really important to have that active discussion. With the submissions, what I'm noticing is a lot of students are writing more conversational, more op-ed than a research-based paper. So what that really means is that you're just stating opinions on the subject matter. So for Homeland Security, we're just giving our own real-life scenarios or what our own opinions are of the question that's asked in the module. Where on a research paper is actually going to look at scholarly research and they're going to cite their thoughts and opinions in a research manner. So what does that mean? So what it means is that a research paper is bounded and backed by research, by other colleagues, by other scholars stating such facts. So again, if we were going to say something along the lines that 9/11 was the worst terrorist attack in the United States history. Now we all know that, right? That's our opinion. But that should be backed by a scholar. That should be where you read that somewhere and an author is giving what is due. And again, we have to be careful with that because some of that is basic knowledge that we know. But if we go into more in depth of that opinion paper, that's where it really becomes a difficult area to grade. Because at this level of your academic journey, it's very important that we are writing research-based. We're not really using we're not really giving our opinion, and we're not really telling the reader what we're going to do. So for example, what I am noticing in most people's introductions or abstract is saying, the purpose of this paper is such, such, such. I will be discussing Homeland Security in these 5 areas. Typically, you wouldn't tell the reader what you're going to talk about. That abstract's about 200 to 250 words, and it summarizes the whole paper into one cohesive area. So in essence, the abstract was supposed to be invented, so if someone just read the abstract, they understood the whole body of work that you submitted. And again, we're not taking credit off for APA, but we should really be moving into that direction of having an abstract, a clear introduction, and a clear conclusion along with your references. So please don't be discouraged if I ask you to resubmit a paper. A lot of times I do that early on in a module, and it's kind of really to make sure that everyone knows how to write an academic paper. I do not take points off for resubmissions. I think it's a vital part of the learning process that you have the opportunity to redo the paper without points being taken off. But with that, let's make sure that when we have references on your reference page that they're actually in the document itself. That is very important because when we submit it to your professors, we're not going to know what you have written or what is taken from another author, and that is very important. For the most part, I believe most students don't plagiarize on purpose. I think it's just a misconception of how to cite things. So that's one of my reasons for allowing students to redo the papers. And really, it's important when you have a reference page that those references are in your text because you're giving that credit to that author. But again, more importantly is that we have a clear introduction of the paper and a clear conclusion. A lot of times we see subheaders in your submissions and there's no clear conclusion. It just ends. And that's not really an academic standard paper. So with that, I really want everyone to kind of work towards Module 2, kind of really take what I'm talking to you about. I've had the opportunity to meet with a number of students on the phone and via Zoom to kind of flush this out a little bit more in depth. And again, if you have any questions about your own personal paper, I'm always available via my cell phone. If you want to talk via email or talk via Zoom. Sometimes I think it's a little bit more beneficial that if we have that one-on-one Zoom time or telephone conference call that we could actually talk and discuss your individual paper versus via email. Sometimes our thoughts are not clearly come across as clear as if we're talking on a phone, and we could share the screen and kind of work through your paper together to make sure you have that A paper that everyone strives for. So I'm going to conclude for today. I'll post about 2 more videos in this semester. Of course, I want to thank our servicemen and women for all your great sacrifices.